The Browns offense for the 49ers defense. All right, so here's the first thing. I'll just say this, just as a side note. Hey, the first play of the game, OBJ probably did have the deep guy. If he wanted to throw it, might have been 6 points. Either way, it was a great throw to Jarvis Landry. But here would be my take of the game just in general. If we just had to break down the Browns offense versus the 49ers defense. First off, yeah, they were playing from behind from the get-go because the 49ers offense kind of put it on them early. That probably took them out of their game plan to a degree. But I guess what I would say more than anything, the Browns got whooped up front by a really awesome front seven of the San Francisco 49ers. It is for real from that aspect. I was a little disappointed that I didn't see more variety in the Browns run game as compared to last week. We saw pulling guards, a lot of different things like that schematically in the run game. I thought this week, okay, it was inside zone, very just simple blocking, okay? I didn't love that aspect of it. But I think the big thing is Baker Mayfield getting off to the shaky start he did is really the big takeaway from the football game in general. Yeah, the pass protection wasn't great, but him throwing an out route early in the game to Odell Beckham Jr.
Wide open.
Right, wide open. I mean, it shouldn't even be a ball that OBJ has to adjust to. So that is huge. I mean, that's a first down left on the field. But getting away from all that, dumb interception to Richard Sherman. Okay, there they are. It's 14-3, and they're driving in the second quarter, and here they are in the red zone, and they got a 3rd and goal from the 6 or 7 yard line. Right, and he throws a horrible ball. Should have been just an absolute walk-in touchdown for Antonio
Callaway. It was
Callaway,
to Callaway,
right?
I think, right?
Exactly right. Antonio Callaway throws a rocket ball at his knees and behind him at the same time. Callaway does his best to try to catch it, but within doing that, he knocks the ball up in the air, interception, and pretty much game over.
Right. Well, a couple things just to start with.
Yeah.
When you're playing the 49ers in that defense and you're playing against Richard Sherman, think of him like Aqib Talib in a way. He's not in. I think Aqib Talib is a better corner right now, but they play the exact same style. They put their rear ends to the sideline.
Yep.
They watch the quarterback. They're going to be somewhat conservative, and they're going to let you throw out cuts.
Right.
And I didn't see enough of that from the Cleveland offense. So during the game, I'm going, damn, throw the out cut. Do it again.
Right.
And Baker was overthrowing the football.
Yes,
trying to throw it too hard.
He has been since our preseason game number 3, where I remember you first pointed it out to me when they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's been overthrowing it since that point.
Yeah, I don't understand why, because he has plenty of arm strength.
Right.
And there is. Listen, it's something he's doing. He's striding long, and when you do that, so your foot is behind you, your right hip goes in, your elbow goes down, the ball goes high. It's science. That's why. Really, that is the reason why. And he did that. He did it a couple times in the game. He's done it probably about 6 or 7 times this year, where it's really resulted in some bad plays because of that.
Yes, right.
And then the play that he threw to Callaway was just the opposite. He stopped everything and just kind of gave it a quick jerk, and he fell forward a little, and so the ball is going to go low. And it's not that it's just low, but it gets there so quick, like you said, and the receiver couldn't fall down and catch it underneath him.
Right.
So, Baker, I thought, got off to the interception. You're right. It was terrible.
The fumble.
The fumble, yes. Again, man, reckless with the ball. In today's NFL, just got done watching Aaron Rodgers play the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And look, he really made something out of a lot of nothings.
Right.
One, throwing the ball away, getting rid of the football, moving when he had to. But I'll tell you one thing, he had those big grippers on that football the whole time he was moving, because he knows you never know where they're coming from, especially when you play the Cowboys.
Right.
So Baker Mayfield, careless with the ball, never got settled in the pocket, and just didn't relax and let the ball go. Like you said, overthrowing, which led to terrible mistakes. And again, the offense became like the offense I saw against the Los Angeles Rams.
Right.
Let's get in the shotgun, no diversity, not enough deception, all that thing. It's a word I overuse, but damn is it true.
Yeah, no, it is. It's true.
It's true.
And it was.
There I am watching. I know you've already talked about it, but I watch Green Bay, and I just go, oh, national media, let's go. Let's talk about it. how does Aaron Rodgers like Matt LaFleur now? Will it work out? Do you think he's happy? Oh, you're going to keep guys in to protect me so I can rip one 50 yards down the field? Oh, a screen play that runs for a touchdown or whatever. Run the ball, everything. And listen, that offense, not to go back on you, but that offense, the evolution of what Green Bay is doing now, really was one of the big reasons why they won that game down in Dallas.
Definitely.
So, it's just, I loved it. Everybody goes so crazy over everything, and when Aaron Rodgers said something about checking off at the line of scrimmage, oh my gosh, national alert. Aaron Rodgers and the coach won't get along.
Yeah, so, no, they got to go.
Okay, but go ahead.
It's a good formula. You're good. Don't worry. You're allowed to go wherever you want with the conversation. All right, so let's just button up that side of the ball. First off, I think we said it. For the 49ers defense is special. The front seven special. Their front four can come at you in waves, and they have a unique front four with two really impressive guys on the edge. Nick Bosa was phenomenal. Not only is he explosive off the football, but he's like a seasoned veteran with his moves and the way he uses his hands, and that's because he comes from a family of pass rushers, so he's well-schooled in that department. And I'll say this much, too, just to end this whole Cleveland conversation on the offensive side of the ball. The things that I worried about, and I think you worried about these too, when Baker Mayfield was coming out of college and like games where we saw the Georgia game, Final Four, and all of that, they're rearing their ugly head a little bit here at me. I didn't know they didn't rear their head last year, but
why didn't they show up last year? Explain why.
Well, I guess last year because they ran the ball really well.
Oh.
Yes, right.
He was under center, getting deep on play action passes.
Definitely.
Oh, what a unique concept. Okay.
I know, and they did it all last week against Baltimore. And I don't want to blame Freddie Kitchens totally in this game because I think his defense and just the way of the game, it got away from them, their game plan all together.
That's true.
So there is some aspect of it there. But Baker Mayfield, yes, careless with the football, was not good in the pocket once again, and batted balls and some key third downs. And by the time you look up and do that, all of a sudden you're down 28-3 and the game's over. And that's all there is to it, really, for that side of the ball. I don't know if there's really any other angle other than that, but that 49ers.
Well, I think the other angle is just that I watched the game, and, to watch him, it's really the first time I've seen the 49ers live on TV. I've been watched them on tape and all that, but Armstead, all the guys you talk about, DeForest Buckner,
right.
But Bosa, just to see him in person and to watch him work, and you're right, he's like a seasoned veteran. Of course, between his brother and his father, working with him his whole life is going to make him be where he is. But really impressive. And I don't know if you're Cleveland. Last thing about it, you go out there, this front four is real.
Right.
You know what they are. So that even makes me more like not upset, but just perplexed. Why wasn't it a little more? When you play front fours like that, you better have a lot of wrinkles to your offense.
Right.
How are you going to slow them down? And just to go back, Green Bay had a lot of wrinkles.
Yeah.
Formations, movement,
bootlegs, screens, all those things. Yes.
Everything to try to slow. It doesn't slow Dallas down, but you can at least try.
Right.
But so they didn't do that, and I will say it. San Francisco, one of the best teams I've ever looked at in my life. In the NFL, when I did games for how many years, I don't know how many I did it, but a long time.
Yeah.
I remember the Super Bowl year. They went to play Baltimore. The Harbaugh brothers played each other.
Right.
And I went to the 49ers practice, and I just went, oh, my God.
Yeah,
and
it was one beast after another.
What's that?
It was one beast after another when you look at their.
I couldn't get over looking at it. This is the greatest-looking team I've ever seen in uniforms in practice.
Yeah.
And, the practice was phenomenal. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was like real and everything. Harbaugh ran a great practice. They were kind of physical. Kaepernick's throwing the ball great. And I'm just going, there's no way Baltimore can beat this offense and this football team just because of the way they looked. And my point being, the 49ers, I'm not saying that about this year's team, but, man, do they look good standing on the field. And I say that all the time, and people go, what does that mean? Well, usually when you look good and your whole team looks good, there's a personality. It means you're physical. Everybody's in great shape and they're ready to go. And size and power is still a big and maybe the number one thing in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. They have a rare combination of size and power with the speed guys at the right position there.
They
on the
do.
defense.
Wide receivers, running backs. My God, Kyle's got to run the ball 30 times a game or 40 to keep the running backs happy.
Yeah.
Because whoever gets it, I'm like, who was that? Oh, God, he's good too.
Well, let's go. Let's go to that side of the ball. 49ers O versus Browns D. I mean, right there. I mean, I think that's the thing that jumps out to me more than anything, okay? It is the run game, okay? I would say that the 49ers run game, Kyle Shanahan, is the best run game game designer in football right now, with game plan specific runs, let alone his base inside outside zone runs in general, and that's really where they separate themselves. I don't know if you agree with that comment. I know.
I definitely do.
Right?
It's amazing how many times a running back runs off tackle, whatever, and nobody touches them for the first 10 yards. And I think maybe even Monday Night Football, did they have a stat that their running backs for the game or something, how far they were running past the line of scrimmage before they were touched? And it was pretty incredible, but not surprising. I've seen it from Kyle Shanahan. And, of course, I saw it firsthand 25 years ago or whatever it was with Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, of course, right.
I mean, and Terrell Davis, I lived through those days, and, it was cutting edge at the time, and all the play actions were off of it, but the thought process and all the formations and everything that Mike Shanahan did was kind of the first ones to do it, and I just, I felt like a genius going on the air because Mike was really cool as a head coach. He would tell you what he's going to do.
Right.
He'd get on the blackboard and draw plays up.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, man, that's awesome. Wish I could do it. It was really cool, but it's just followed down, and it's still the key to winning in the NFL.
Yes.
Two things. One, run the ball, all the reasons we know. I'm not going to bore anybody, but it makes your offensive line tough.
Yes.
And if they're tough, you got a tough football team.
Yeah, because then your defense has to practice against it, and they become tougher. And yes, go on.
Yes, and you all the other things. Yeah, they'll call. Oh, if you run it, you can throw a play action pass. Hey, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
That's another one I love. But the big thing is that tell me a team that's gone and won the Super Bowl with an average offensive line.
Yeah, no, it's...
You don't have to think long. I can't think of any.
No,
in fact, last year...
The only one I could think of would be the Denver Broncos of 2015, maybe a little bit. Not a great offensive line. Good. They stayed patient with the run, but their defense was out of this world special, so they could overcome it.
The defense was special, and Peyton Manning, of course, the quarterback, and then what really saved that offensive line that year and everything was the defense and the fact that Peyton Manning and, was Adam Gase still there?
Let's see, Gase? No, I think he was gone that year.
No, he was gone.
Kubiak all the way there.
Well, whatever. It's just all the screen plays, get rid of the football and all that thing really protected that offensive line. But that's a great example. I forgot that one.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what I'm here for. But either way, the run game phenomenal. And listen, this wasn't like, just from my notes, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, the Browns are getting totally blown off the ball. They are just getting totally cremated, like physically. No, this was more schematic cremation. I mean, this was Kyle Shanahan going against the guy Steve Wilks, who has had some success against him even last year when he was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. First play of the game, that was just a total run design, just to screw over Steve Wilks and his defense. Just a lot of examples like that. But the running game's so creative. I think that's the big thing that jumps out to me. We've yet to really see what Jimmy G is all about at this point. We really have.
Yeah, great point.
He's just managing games at this point because they're able to run the football and do the things necessary to win games.
Well, that's true. He did not play a good game, I thought. I thought he was very average in the throws, everything about it. I just go, God, please just step into one and let it go. So that doesn't happen, so I don't know. But the one thing they're doing, they're running it great and all that, but they do keep the quarterback involved and they keep him, in rhythm.
Yes.
And so when the time comes, they have to throw it 35 and 40 times because of the situation, or they just can't run against maybe a couple of these defensive fronts in the NFL.
Right.
Their quarterback is ready then to bail him out because they're going to call upon him. And since you've given him enough work in games like against Cleveland, that he's if he's called upon, I think he'll be able to do the job. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm trying to think back to week one. I didn't watch that as close as I should have when they played Tampa.
Yeah.
Where Tampa was all over them.
Yeah, it was shaky with a few splattered plays of goodness in between here and there. Right. So I know that's really, I think, for the 49ers offense, it's my biggest question going forward. Not that it's a huge question, but yes, like you said, when they do play that defense that can finally slow down their run game, will he be able to carry the squad if he has to throw it 35, 40 times?
Yeah, you know, the last thing I want to say too. Coaching is so important in the NFL. You're saying it with everything you're saying today. I tell people this all the time. You know, don't just point to the quarterback. The quarterback is at the mercy of the coordinator and the head coach and all that with the personnel, but the scheme that they run. And the scheme is just as important. It's more important than the skill of the quarterback. And just case in point, there's the 49ers, and I watched them, and I see, you know, Booger McFarland just bragging about Weston Richburg, pulling around the outside to get in the block, and I'm going, he wasn't good enough to play in New York, but he can play out there in that good offensive line now.
That's
So don't tell me about, this and that. You got to know where to put players in the right position, no matter what position they play, offensive line, quarterback, running back, for them to have success. And they've done that out in Mike McGlinchey, who you covered at Notre Dame. I mean, man, some of these rookie tackles are coming in the NFL. Usually it's a horrible process their rookie year. Him, Colton Miller with the Raiders, I think they're both second-year guys. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right.
Well, they both played well, I thought, as rookies, and they're both playing well as second-year tackles, too.
Okay, so, all right. Here, I mean, the last thing, and I got a question for you. We got some questions from Twitter that I want to hit you with. And first off, I mean, hey, I love the 49ers, and I know you do. The I formations, 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets, you know, 1 back, or 2 backs, 1 tight end, all of that stuff. It's old school football. I love that. Now, you just said it. We talked about Jimmy G. Okay, so here's one. Despite being 4-0, and this is from Mark Cisneros, I hope I got that right. Where does Jimmy G rank among the QBs who has a winning record? Okay, all right. So that's a deep question, and I don't. But yeah, I mean, okay. Where does Jimmy G rank? Let's just be quick with that. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Dak Prescott. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Matt Stafford. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Deshaun Watson.
Is he Kirk Cousins?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins has a more. I think Kirk Cousins is as good an athlete, and you know, quite honestly, you know, not knocking Jimmy G. I'm not. Look, I think Kirk Cousins has a better arm and is a better thrower than he is.
I would agree with that too. Right. So I think both of our answers would he'd be towards the bottom of the list as far as the teams with the winning record in football. I mean, he would. I mean,
as of now, it's still, you know, look,
it's still early, right?
Yeah, his injury, that was a big deal. Practice is a big deal. He couldn't. I don't know how much he really practiced during the preseason. I think he was practicing. I know he didn't play that much, but you know, you know, it takes a while. You know it, and you know, you watch guys. If you're coming back from injury, it's a slow process. So we'll give them a few games, and like you say, we'll get some answers when they have to throw it to win.
Well, yeah. At Coco Butterlove wants us to talk about Jimmy G because I don't know what I'm looking for, LOL, but he seemed so inaccurate. I'll make one comment about the inaccuracy, and I don't know if you've seen it, seen enough to know either. He has got the whole step in a bucket thing going big time. Anytime.
Yes.
I mean, if you're standing on a clock for all those out there and he wants to throw the ball at 11 o'clock, okay, he steps at 8 o'clock sometimes to throw the ball at 11 o'clock, and that is going to relate to inaccurate and throws that don't have enough power and steam on it. That was my big issue with Jimmy G to this point.
Yeah, no question. The ball does lack power, and you're not going to get power the way he's throwing, and everything you're describing is exactly what he does. Basically, it's you know, throwing, falling backwards, just to make it really simple. That's what it is. And, of course, he's very good at dropping his arm and throwing around people. But when you do that, you're going to drop your arm. You can't do that with your body and think you're going to make a high release, which doesn't matter, which is really an overrated thing in the NFL.
Right.
But he has perfected falling a little back and losing power on the football because of that. Is that the injury? No, that's really how I've seen him throw almost always as a starting quarterback in the NFL, every single game. It's a little more pronounced right now, but hopefully he'll get out of that. And I'm sure the 49ers are saying, hey, come on, just step forward and let it go. And because I ask receivers all the time, I work with two at Showtime, Brandon Marshall and Steve Smith, and I ask them all the time, can the quarterback basically throw it too hard if he's throwing spirals? And they just go, no.
Right.
And it's always the same thing. Get it to me. I want it, and let me go.
Yeah, we've never heard anybody complain about Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre throwing the ball too hard. Why?
No.
Because they threw perfect spirals every time, like you're saying.
Yeah, they do. And generally, somebody can throw it really hard, like we're talking about.
Yeah. They're
going to throw perfect spirals because it takes mechanics to really just let it go.
Right.
And so, again, there it is. He threw some balls that you were like going, get there. One over the middle in particular that I forgot who made the catch right off his shoe tops and never broke stride, which was pretty incredible. I think it was probably in the first quarter of the game. And but yeah, he's got to correct that. Like we say, when his time comes, he'll be ready.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.